Good evening, everyone. And you're welcome to the Microsoft Excel class. Let's wait for maybe 1 more minute for people to join. Can you all hear my voice? Can you hear my voice? All right, thank you very much. All right, so let's make a start. Can you see my screen? Please put it in the chat box if you can see my screen. All right, thank you. Okay, so let me make a quick announcement. For those of us that we have promised that we want to do a PR video based on this basic class, please kindly do it based on the prototype that I've given to you, and kindly send it to me before or not before the week runs out, or not before Saturday, please. God bless us as we do that. So let me refresh our memory. Now, we were stuck with this data last week. We did some pivot charts. So I said that this week we are going to create a dashboard. So we did some pivot charts. We did product detail. Okay, this one is products. This one is salespeople. We produced some pivot charts. This is some of the charts that were produced last week. And this is for average and total sales per region, number of products sold, average sales per region. Then we have total number of products. We have say now. Okay. So already next week is going to be, because next week it will be, like I said last week, this week I'm going to give you I'm going to send it. I might not send it today, but before the end of the week, hopefully I will send to you like a mini project that you're supposed to do, and you will send the project to me. So I'm giving you the 2 weeks we start after next week. The 2 weeks is going to start after next week. The 2 weeks is not starting when I give you this week. The 2 weeks is starting after next week. The 2 weeks is starting after next week. So please, let's the 2 weeks is, like I said, the 2 weeks is starting after next week. So so when I give you the project this week, I expect you to do the project for 2 weeks, then submit it back to me. And those of you that you are interested in certificate, when I look at the projects and I'm satisfied with it, then I will give you your certificate after you have made payments. So I think that's another announcement that I'm missing. So next week is going to be, let me say it is going to be more of question and answer, because it's going to be our last class. So it's going to be more of question and answer. So try to bring every question that you have in your mind concerning what we have treated, the VLOOKUPs, the pivot charts, and everything like that. I have some things in mind that I'm going to add, but I will first of all entertain questions even before I start any class. So I expect you to bring different questions. So let's go to, like I said, that we are going to design a dashboard today. So how do we go about that? Hopefully there will be enough time for us to finish designing it. But our data is kind of limited. So we will work with the data that we have. So let's give our dashboard, let's give it like a title. Now, remember that when we started this class, I taught you how to merge and centralize Excel. So I want to merge these cells now and centralize it. So let me call it sales. Like I said, this is a fake data, so that in case you are watching on YouTube, so that YouTube will not ban us. So it's a fake data. It is not a real data. So we can we can give this before we do this, so we can, okay, hang on. Which color should I give to it? Sales dashboard, bold. Let me increase the font size. So here we have our sales dashboard, which is the title. So the rest of it, let me merge sales. Now, the reason why I said merge and center the other time is because I wanted to put a title. So here I will just use merge sales alone. That's what I'm just going to use. So one by one, what I will be doing is to copy my, I will be copying some of these, the average sales per region. I mean, some of the charts that we have created last week. So Control C, then I'll copy it here. No, I'm not copying this. What did I press? This that I want to copy. So immediately you copy it, it will bring out the pivot chart, but I don't need the pivot chart for now. So I'll close it. So let me drag it to this side. So it depending on the charts that we have, that's what we want to build our dashboard on. So that's average sales per region. Then this is the total number of products. Let me rewrite the title. Let me rewrite the title here as total number of products So let me copy this. So let me bring this down here. So we have average sales per region, total number of product. So as a glance, what the meaning of dashboard in Excel is that at a glance, you can take a good look at every of your figures. You can take a good look at every of your figures. So let me go to some of the rest of our chart. Total number of products sold. How is it different from this? Oh, okay. We added a slicer to this and total number of products per region. Okay. Let's pick this and discard the other one. Let's pick this and discard that because I'll tell you why. I'm still going to bring what's it called now? Let me delete this. I'm still going to bring a slicer here. So this is what we need. Total number of products sold. Then, okay, I've done that of average sales per region. Then, yeah, this is average and total sales per region. So let me copy it. Average and total sales per region. So when you get here, you have to click out because if you don't click out, it's going to replace the image that is here. That was what happened to me the other time. So you have to click out, then paste it. So this is average and total sales per region. Then here we have total sales per salesperson. The total sales per salesperson. So that is why I call it a sales dashboard, because most of the things we are doing, it's all about sales, sales, sales. So I have to click out first, then paste it. So here now, I have the average and total sales per region. Oh, I copied the same thing, sorry. I'm supposed to copy total, yeah. Total sales per salesperson. So this is the total sales per salesperson. So here now, we could, I think How many chart did we do last week? Average sales, total number of products. Okay. Yeah, we could look at, let's go to the total number of products per region. Let's go to the sales data again. We could look at, I'm not sure that we did product, total number of products, that is total number of average sales per product. I'm not sure that we did that last week. The average sales per product. No, we didn't do that last week. So let's do average sales per product. So don't forget what we did last week. So we go to insert pivot tables. Yeah, a new, then okay. So let me rename this as average sales per product. So we look at products, then we look at sales. So just some that is there. So I can come here, right click, and say average by the average sales. So here, so that's changed to, let me change the title to average sales per product. So looking at the values here, it's obvious that we are still going to make use of either a bar chart or a clustered column chart, or we could make use of a line chart so that we could have variety of things. So from this, it was printer that has the highest sales. So, the data label is not going to make it nice. So the chart title should be there. I know I don't want the legend. I don't want the grid lines. Okay. So let me remove the axis feed button and the value feed button. So here we have there. So this is going to be average sales per product. So this is average sales per product. And from here, we can see that printer has the highest number of sales. So let's copy this. Let's look for our dashboard. Let me try to reduce these a bit. let me look for another maybe what other things that we could do. We've looked at average sales per region, per salesperson, per product. What other thing could we possibly look at? Okay, we could look at how many times that the salesperson they sold the product. Like how many times did they sell a product? So we could take a look at that. That how many times do they attend to customers? So private tables. Okay. So sales number of times attended to the customer. That is the number of times they made this, they made sales. So let me just change it to the number of times sales were made. Or let me change it to sales number of times. So we have the salesperson, then we have the sales amount, but it's not the amount that we want. It's not the amount that we want to know. So let me come here, right click. So I will change it to count. So as we can see from this place that it was Grace that actually made the highest number of sales. So I can call it number of sales by sales person. So if I want to have a chart for this now, if I go to pivot chart, an histogram is not going to work. So, and because they are not evenly distributed, so you can make use of, yeah, so let's use this. So it's well represented. So let me remove grid lines, remove legend, chart title will be there, axis, yeah, data labels. So let me remove axis of the vertical. Perfect. So pivot chart, field axis, field table. Then here we have the number of times, number of sales by sales person. So you can see that data analysis is all about informing your stakeholders of the information. It's all about informing your stakeholders about the information about the company because they want to know. That is what data analysis is all about. They want to know about the data analysis of the company. So here now we have our sales dashboard. So to insert a slicer, all I need to do is to right click here. Then I will say add a slicer. Now it's because it's on products. So if because I want my slicer to be on region, so I'll click on region here and say add a slicer. Now I need you to look at me very well. Now I want my slicer. Now at the moment, my slicer is not communicating with anything. You can see it's only communicating with the average sales per region. So if I want it to enable multi-select, so I'll click on it. So this will enable multi-select for me. Now, it's only communicating or is only interacting. Let me use the right word. Is only interacting with this. Now, this total sales per person doesn't look good to me. So let me remove data labels for it. It looks rough. So I've removed data label for it. Let me make this upper. Let it go like this. Yeah, that's perfect. So now, now listen to me. Now it's only communicating with this. I mean, it's only communicating with average sales per region. So how do I make it communicate with the rest? And truthfully, the truth is I don't even need it to communicate with this. How do I do that? So I'll click on slicer up here. Then I'll click on report connections. So I don't want it to communicate with average sales, but I want it to communicate with the sales number of times. I want it to communicate with this. Now, if you are not sure of your title, you can drag it and that will give you the title. So I want it to communicate with total and average sales. I want it to communicate with total number of products. I want it to communicate with this, but I don't want it to communicate with average sales per region. So let me click OK now. So as you can see, it's already communicating with it. Can you see it now? It's already communicating with it. So if I want only East, so this is for the Eastern region. This is the average sales product. Printer still remains the highest sales in the East. And Frank had the highest number of sales in the East. Frank also has the total number, the total sales in the East. And this is, okay, let me say that I don't want it to communicate with, I don't know why they are disturbing us. Let me say that I don't want it to communicate. I've admitted all of them. I don't want it to communicate with average and total sales per region. So let me go back to reports connection again. I don't want it to communicate to average and total sales per region. So average and total sales per region. Yeah. total, so I don't want it to communicate with it, so that's fine. Okay, let me say, you can see that it's not communicating with it, so it is that has left it to east alone, but that should not be. So let me say that it should communicate with it back, so that we can have the O. Now you can see now it's communicating, so they are interacting. So let me go back to report connection now and say that I don't want it to interact with it. So that's okay now. So as you can see, all the rest are moving. The rest of the interactions are moving. However, the average and total sales per region are not moving. Can you see now? So if I want only for the east, if I want only for the west, that is how I'm going to do it. So we could also have another slicer. Let me see if we have question. You can drop your questions as I'm working. So we could also have another slicer. That is, we could also add another slicer. So how do we go about that? Again, I want my slicer to be made up of salesperson. So I will right click on the salesperson and say add slicer. However, I don't want my slicer to communicate. I don't want my slicer So I don't want my slicer to communicate with number of sales per person. I don't want it to communicate here. And I also don't want it to communicate with total sales per salesperson, but it should communicate with the rest, because we want to know the number of headphones that Alice sold. We want to know the number of the total sales in the East that Alice sold. We want to know the average sales that Bob had in the region. We want to know the total sales, no, the number of products that was sold by Charlie. So how do we do that? I'll click on the slicer again, report connection. So I don't want it to communicate with number of sales per salesperson. So it should not communicate with this, can communicate with average sales per product, average sales per region. So sales number of time, no. Total and average, yes. Total number of products per region, yes. Total number of products sold, yes. Then total sales per salesperson, no. So let me enable multi-select. If you want to enable multi-select, you click on this. So let me unselect all now. You can see that they are all changing. The ones that I wanted to change are changing already. So if we want to look at the report card for Jack alone, let me unselect all. So now this is the report card for Jack alone. So that means that he only sold keyboard and mouse. And that's the essence of a dashboard, because it gives you like an overview. That means that he is only working in the south and the east. Most of his sales are in the south and in the east, and he has the highest sales in the east. So for this also reflects the same thing. And the total number of products sold, he sold only one keyboard, one mouse. So if we want to check for Isabel, I click on Isabel, then I will click out Jack. So he sold keyboard, sold laptop, sold mouse, sold phone. Then how many did he sell? Keyboard 2, laptop 1, mouse 1, phone 1. Then most of his work also are in the east and in the west. And that's why we have east and west here as well. So you can see that data analysis is all about you wanting to inform your stakeholders of what is going on in the organization. And that is the essence of a sales dashboard, so that you can bring all your charts together and it will show you a glimpse of what is going on in the company. Like I said, this is a fake data. So do we have any question? Hello, sir. Okay, you wanted to put can we make slicer design per button for regional sales? Sorry, sir, can we make our slicer design as button for regional sales and also per salesperson? I'm not sure I get your question. Can we make our slicer design as button for regional sales? And this is regional sales. This is east, north, south, west. And this is for salesperson. That's what I just did. When did he ask the question? Yes, we can have more than one slicer in a dashboard. You can have as many slicers as possible in a dashboard. I just used two. You can have more than one slicer in a dashboard. If I want to pre-inform, now that is if like I want to inform them on the product as well, that is the keyboard, laptop, monitor, phone, then I can have another slicer. Then I have to make this dashboard bigger. I can have another slicer. I can put it on this side, on this other side, and have product product slicer as well. So it all depends on what I want. And I will know the number of keyboard that were sold in the West. I will know the number of keyboard that were sold in the South. I will know the number of keyboard that were sold in various places. So you can have as many slicers as possible. Any other question? Do you have any other question? All right. So in the absence of no question, let me move on. So if I want to check for Grace now, I will click on Grace, then I will uncheck Isabel. So if you look at for Grace had a fairly good report card because he sold two. I don't know whether it's he or she. Who bears Grace more? This is a fake data actually. That's just by the way. So it's she sold, I think female bears Grace more, but it's a fake data. So it's not a real data. So she sold 2 headphones, 2 keyboards, 1 mouse, 1 monitor, 2 mouse, and 3 phones. And checking it with the east, west, south, and north. So he has the highest sales in the north. He has the highest sales in the north. And that's why we have the highest average sales as well in the north. And what is sold mostly is phone. So that means that the phones are not really costly then. They are not really costly, but he sold 2 headphones. The headphones must have been very costly, more than the phones that he sold, because the value of the phones here is just 1,900. So if you want to check the value while you are speaking, you can put it here. But if I should put the values here now, it's going to make it later. It won't make it beautiful. It won't make it nice at all. Let me see if we have another question that has dropped. Okay, no question. So now, as we can see, I have explain to you how you can put one or more slicers on your dashboard. And when you want to explain what I've done now, I've done a bit of explanation on how, if you want to present this to your stakeholders. So it's not only being able to draw this or being able to do this, creating pivot charts, creating pivot tables. You need to be able to explain your data analysis to your stakeholders. You need to be able to communicate effectively to your stakeholders. You need to be able to communicate effectively to them. And this is one of the things that makes you a good data analyst. Do we have any question before we wrap up the class? Any question? Do we have any question? All right. So in the absence of no question, I think we can call it a day. And please, let me repeat some of the announcement I made again. For those of us that probably joined late, I said that I'm going to send the project this week, but the 2 weeks starts from next week. For you to, I will send the email address you will submit it to when you are done. It's just, you are just submitting the Excel sheet, the solution of the Excel sheet. So, and you will see that some of you that have chatted me for certificate, I've not sent my account number. And it was deliberately on purpose. I just wanted to know those of you that are interested so that I will know, I will inform the person that will do I will inform my person that will do the certificate that will produce it. So, but without doing the project, I'm not going to give you any certificate without producing it, without doing the project for 2 weeks. So the 2 weeks is not starting this week. The 2 weeks is starting immediately after the class next week. And I said, bring any question. If nobody brings any question, I have what I can teach, but I want to make next week as interactive as possible based on what I've taught you in the last 6 weeks. So bring any question based on that, not above that, based on what you have practiced, based on what I've taught you. Bring any question to me on that next week, and I'm going to treat it for you. I want to make the class as interactive as possible. So the first thing I will ask next week is, do you have any question? And I expect you to drop those questions. And in case you don't have any question, I always have something to teach you. So I have something to teach already, apart from the pivot tables. But just bring it, just bring those questions next week, and we'll be able to treat it out. And I expect you to do the project yourself. So if you give it to somebody else for that person to do it for you, we are all adults. You know yourself, so you know that what you are collecting is not real. There's no way I can monitor that. So, but I believe that you are an adult, so you should be proud that you did it yourself. You did the project yourself. You can make use of Google for assistance. Even in the place of work, people make use of Google. Do you hear that? So that is why place of work is different from you writing a test. But when you go for an interview and they give you a VLOOKUP, they will not give you they will not give you a chance to look up at Google. So that's the difference between exam or a test. That's the difference between test and you doing it personally. But you still have a chance to look at even my YouTube videos with the test, with the project that I want to give you. But I just want to see how you are able to get them and how you are able to do it. And that is what I just want to see. And like I said, you have 2 weeks to do it. So when you send me the projects, even if you are doing all the 4 courses, so I will give you the chance of for extra 2 weeks in case you need. So you have a month. If you are doing all the 4 courses, so you have a month to fix it and send it to me. And if you know that you can do it within 2 weeks, no problem. But I'm just giving extra if in case you are doing all the 4 courses. So that is my announcement for you. And lastly, if you have nominated yourself that you want to do a PR, kindly submit it to me. Send it to me on WhatsApp on or before Saturday. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed the class, give me a reaction. If you have enjoyed the class, I'm not seeing your reactions though. All right. So I'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much. And bye for now.